सल्ले अला मुहम्मदिन सल्ले अला करीमिना सल्ले अला मुहम्मदिन सल्ले अला नबीना सल्ले अला मुहम्मदिन सल्ले अला नबीना सल्ले अला मुहम्मदिन सल्ले अला हबीबिना सल्ले अला बलगल उला बिकमालिही कशफद दुजा बिजमालिही बलगल उला बिकमालिही कशफद दुजा बिजमालिही हसन जमीओ खिसालिही सल्लु अलैहि सल्ले अला नबीना सल्ले अला मुहम्मदिन सल्ले अला नबीना सल्ले सल्ले अला हबीबिना सल्ले अला मुहम्मदिन सल्ले अला इमामिना सल्ले अला मुहम्मदिन सल्ले अला नबीना सल्ले अला मुहम्मदिन सल्ले अला हबीबिना सल्ले अला मुहम्मदिन सल्ले अला
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Today I will also recount the companions of Badr. The first companion I will mention is Hazrat Amir bin Salama. Hazrat Amir bin Salama is also referred to as Amr bin Salama. Bani Rees was from the tribe he was from. It was a very old tribe, and the tribe Qudaa is the branch of it, or it is a branch of that tribe. And this is why he was also called Amir bin Salman Balvi. He was of the Ansar. Hazrat Amir bin Salama took part in the battles of Badr and the battle of Uhud. The next companion who will be mentioned is Hazrat Abdullah bin Suraqa. Hazrat Abdullah bin Suraqa was from the Quraysh Banu Adi tribe, which is a tribe of Hazrat Umar bin Khattab. He went to Reha, and from Hazrat Umar and then to Hazrat Kaab, and this is a genealogy of the different branches. From the 10th generation is where he reached. Suraqa bin Mutabir was his father's name, and his mother's name was Amma bint Abdullah. Zainab was his sister's name, and Amr bin Suraqa was his brother. Hazrat Abdullah bin Suraqa, his wife's name was Umayma bint Haris. They had one son, Abdullah, from this marriage. Most of the historians have said that he participated in the Battle of Badr. However, there are some historians who said that he did not take part in the Battle of Badr, and he took part in the battles of Uhud and the later battles. Regardless, according to the majority consensus of the historians, Hazrat Abdullah and his brother Amr bin Suraqa participated in the Battle of Badr and had this honor. From amongst the progeny of Hazrat Abdullah was Amr or Usman bin Abdullah, Zaid and Ayub are all mentioned. Abdullah bin Abu Bakr narrates that Hazrat Abdullah bin Suraqa with his brother Amr went from Makkah to Medina to migrate. Hazrat Rifa bin Abdullah bin Abdul Munzir was where both of these brothers stayed in Medina. Hazrat Abdullah bin Suraqa, during the era of the Caliphate of Hazrat Usman, in the 35th year after the migration, Hijri, passed away. It is narrated from Hazrat Abdullah bin Suraqa that the Holy Prophet said, that do the Sehri, that is in the morning, even if you have to only drink water available to you. The Sehri is the morning pre-breakfast meal. Hazrat Mala bin Abdul Kholi is the next companion. Hazrat Malik bin Abdul Kholi was from the Banu Ijl tribe, which was from the Banu Adi clan of the Quraysh. Abu Kholi was his filial appellation, whereas his name was Amr bin Zuhair. Hazrat Malik's name was also referred to as Halal. When Hazrat Umar was migrating from Makkah to Medina, then, in addition to his family, Hazrat Malik and his brother Hazrat Kholi were also part of that. Hazrat Malik, along with his brother, participated in Battle of Badr. According to one narration, in the Battle of Badr, Hazrat Kholi, along with his two brothers, Hazrat Hilal, that is Hazrat Malik, and Hazrat Abdullah, participated with all these three together. During the era of the Caliphate of Hazrat Usman, Hazrat Malik bin Abdul Kholi passed away. The next companion that who will be recounted is Hazrat Waqib bin Abdullah. Hazrat Waqid's father's name was Abdullah bin Abdul Manaf. He was from the Banu Matim tribe. Hazrat Waqib was from the Banu Khalif, and according to one narration, he was from the Quraysh Banu Adi Kaab tribe. According to the preaching expedition of Hazrat Abu Bakr, the people who are mentioned in the books of history for accepting Islam include Hazrat Waqid. Hazrat Waqid also, before the Dar-e-Arkam of the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, the preaching center that was established by him, he accepted Islam. Hazrat said that I mentioned what Dar-e-Arkam was a few sermons ago, and I will briefly mention it again. That when the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, thought that there should be a preaching, a tabligh center in Makkah where the Muslims could all collate and center together, because they were coming from all different places, where they could, in peace and comfort, create all sorts of educational programs, tarbiyati programs for moral and secular training, and where from the center could be made for tabligh, or propagation of Islam. There was a need for a house for this purpose, which had a central value. Therefore, the Holy Prophet, peace and blessing of Allah be upon him, to a new Muslim, Arkam, he preferred his household for this purpose. That was near to Safa, the mountain. This is where the Muslims would gather. This is where the Muslims would say their prayers. And those who were in search of the truth, the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, when they would go to him, the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there is where he would launch his preaching from. So therefore this house has a very famous mention in history, and it is also called Darul Islam. The Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, for about 3 years operated out of Dar-e-Arkam. That is the 4th year after his claim. He made it his claim, and at the end till the end of the 6th year, he continued to use this as his preaching center and for his preaching programs. Historians have narrated that in Dar-e-Arkam, those who entered Islam, the last person who entered Islam was Hazrat Umar. He was the last person who entered Islam through Dar-e-Arkam. He exited Dar-e-Arkam and he openly started preaching. When Hazrat Umar migrated from Makkah to Medina, then in addition to his family who were with him, Hazrat Waqid was also with him. Hazrat Waqid, during the migration from Makkah to Medina with Hazrat Rifa bin Abdul Munzir, is where he stayed. Then the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, to Hazrat Waqid and Hazrat Ishat Bira, he formed a bond of brotherhood between them. Hazrat Waqid took part in the battles of Badr, Uhud and Khandak, that is the battle of the trench, and participated in all the battles alongside the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. When the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, sent an expedition or an army, Hazrat Waqid was part of it. In this expedition, there was a disbeliever, Amr bin Hazrabi, who was killed. Hazrat Waqid was the one who killed him. This was the first polytheist who was killed in Islam. Hazrat Waqid was the first Muslim who in any battle killed a polytheist. The details of this expedition I have already mentioned with reference to Hazrat Abdullah bin Jash. Hazrat Waqid, during the early period of the Caliphate of Hazrat Umar, passed away. The next companion I will mention is Hazrat Nasr bin Haris. Hazrat Nasr bin Haris was from the Ansar tribe of the Aus clan of the Bani Abd bin Razak. His name is also called Numair bin Haris. His filial appellation was Abu Haris. His father's name was Haris bin Abd, and his mother's name was Soda bint Sawad. Hazrat Nasr bin Haris had the fortune of taking part in the battle of Badr. His father, Haris, may Allah be pleased with him, also has the blessing of being a Sahabi, a companion of the Holy Prophet. Hazrat Nasr was martyred in the battle of Qasiyah. Qasiyah is a place in Iran, or is in modern-day Iraq, which is about 45 miles from Kufa. In the 14th year after the migration, in the era of the Caliphate of Hazrat Umar, there was a battle between the Persians and the Muslims, as a result of which the Persian Empire came into the fold of the Islamic Empire. Hazrat Malik bin Amr is the companion who will next be mentioned. Hazrat Malik bin Amr was from the Banu Sulaim tribe, the clan of Banu Hajar. Bani Abdul Shams was from where he originated. His father's name was Amr Sumed. Hazrat Malik, along with his two brothers, Hazrat Zaf bin Amr and Hazrat Mudlij bin Amr, participated in the Battle of Badr. Hazrat Malik took part in the battles of Uhud and the other battles alongside the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. In the 12th year after the migration, in the Battle of Yamama, he was martyred. The next companion to be mentioned is Nu'man bin Asr. Hazrat Nu'man was from the Ansar tribe Wali, and from the Banu Muawiyah was where he was associated with. Laqid bin Asr is a name he was also referred to. Similarly, he was also called Nu'man bin Balvi. Hazrat Nu'man bin Asr took part in the Pledge of Aqaba and the battles of Badr, and all the other battles alongside the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. He was martyred during the Battle of Yamama. According to others, Hazrat Nu'man was that individual who the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, after he passed away, was martyred in the battle of those who became apostates. The next companion who will be mentioned is Hazrat Ovem bin Sahida. Hazrat Ovem bin Sahida was from the tribe of Aus, the clan of Amr bin Auf. Hazrat Ovem took part in the first and second pledges of Aqaba. According to the life and character of the Seal of Prophets, according to its reference, from the first pledge of Aqaba, before that, a group of the Ansar in Medina had believed in the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, who was 6 in number. According to some narrations, there were 8 who actually accepted the Holy Prophet. Hazrat Ovem bin Usada, the companion being mentioned, was one of those. In Tabqatul Kubra, in this book, it said, at the occasion of the migration of Medina, the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, to Hazrat Ovem bin Sada and to Hazrat Umar, and according to another narration, to Hazrat Hatim bin Abi Balta, formed them into a bond of brotherhood. Hazrat Abdullah bin Zubair narrates that he heard the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, saying that Hazrat Ovem was such a great person amongst the servants of Allah, and he is amongst the inheritors of paradise. According to another narration, when the verse was revealed, فِيهِ رِجَالٌ كُنَّا مِن يَتَطَهِّرُ وَاللَّهُ يُحِبُّ الْمُطَهِّرِينَ, the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said that Ovem bin Sahida, what an excellent person he is amongst those who are amongst the dwellers of paradise. The translation of this verse is, there are those who will enter this who wish to be completely pure. Allah is pleased with those who prefer complete purity. فِيهِ رِجَالٌ يُحِبُّونَ أَن يَتَطَهَّرُوا وَاللَّهُ يُحِبُّ الْمُطَهِّرِينَ. Hazrat Ovem bin Sa'ida took part in the battles of Badr, Uhud, and the Trench, and all other battles alongside the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. Asim bin Sumayd narrates that the daughter of Hazrat Ovem, Ubaidah, he heard her say that when Hazrat Umar bin Khattab was standing on the grave of Hazrat Ovem, Hazrat Umar said, no one in the world can say that he is better than the person in this grave. For the Holy, he was always under the flag of whichever flag was entrenched by the Holy Prophet. It is mentioned in another narration that during the age of ignorance, the age of Jahiliyyat, Haris's father Suwaid, to Hazrat Mujahid's father, he killed him. Then then somebody grabbed Suhaib and he got a revenge on his father's killer. Both of these accounts are before the advent of Islam. In Jang-e-Muaz, which was between the Aus and the Khazraj, this was the cause of that battle. After this, when the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, migrated to Medina, both the sons of both these murderers, both of them became Muslim. And both took part in the battles of Badr. It is this narration of Haris bin Suwaid. He used to wait for the opportunity, even after accepting Islam, that he should kill Hazrat Mujazzir out of revenge for what happened to his father, but he never had such an opportunity. In the Battle of Uhud, when the Quraysh sprung an attack against the Muslim, then Haris bin Suwaid, he hit Mujazzir from the back and he smited his neck and killed him. According to another narration, Hazrat Haris also killed Hazrat Qais. On the return of the Battle of Amrah or Asad, a companion came to the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, and informed him that Hazrat Haris at the time is present there. Hazrat Haris bin Suwaid has deceptively killed Hazrat Mujazzir. He said to the Holy Prophet, Hazrat Haris should now be killed to avenge the murder of Hazrat Mujazzir. Immediately hearing this, the Holy Prophet went to that location. Normally, the Holy Prophet would not go there. At the time in Quba, it was very hot. When he reached there, in Quba, the Ansar all came to meet him. Amongst them was Haris bin Suwaid. He had wrapped around him one or two cloths. Hazrat Muammar bin Sa'idah, on the command of the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings on the door of Hazrat Quba, killed Hazrat Haris. According to Sirat al-Halabiyya, the companion being mentioned, instead of Ovem, is also referred to Ovema, whereas other historians and other books of history have all referred to him as Ovem bin Sa'idah. There is another narration that Ovem bin Suwaid, that the Holy Prophet had said that he should be killed because he had deceptively killed another Muslim, although they were both Muslims. According to another narration, it is said that Hazrat Usman was commanded by the Holy Prophet to do this. Another narration yet says that Hazrat Haris said, I swear by God, I killed Haris. However, I did not kill because I have apostated from Islam, nor have I killed him because I have any doubt about Islam, but I have killed him because Satan infuriated me with a self-regard, and now I repent, and I am ready to give up my blood, and I will give fast for 2 months continuously, and I will free a slave. However, the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, did not accept this, and he ordered the death penalty. Abu Umar says, this is a narration in Sirat Halabiyya. Abu Umar says that Ovem, in the life of the Holy Prophet, passed away. It is also said, Abu Umar says this, but elsewhere it says that he passed away in the era of the Caliphate of Hazrat Umar, in the 35th year after the migration. The next companion who will be mentioned is Hazrat Nu'man bin Sinan. Hazrat Nu'man bin Sinan was from the Ansar tribe of Khazraj, clan of Banu Nu'man. Ibn Hisham has written that Hazrat Nu'man bin Nu'man was a freed slave of the Banu Nu'man, whereas Ibn Sabad has said he's a free slave of Banu Adi. Hazrat Nu'man bin Sinan took part in the battles of Badr and Uhud. The next companion to be related is Hazrat Antara bin Mola Sulaim. Hazrat Antara, Hazrat Sulaim bin Amr, was a free slave of Hazrat Amr. Hazrat Antara Salami Zakwani Sulami, and he was Zakwani, and he was from the Banu Sawad, which is of the tribe, which is a branch of the Ansar. Hazrat Ansar took part in the battles of Badr and Uhud. He was martyred during the battle of Uhud. Nawfal bin Muawiyah was the one who martyred him. According to another narration, Hazrat Antara passed away in the battle of Siffin during the era of the caliphate of Hazrat Ali in the 36th year after the migration. The next companion is Numan bin Abd Amr. Hazrat Numan bin Abd Amr was from the Ansar tribe of Khazraj, branch of Banu Nidar bin Nijar. His father's name was Abd Amr bin Masroor, and his mother's name was Sumaira bint Qais. Hazrat Numan bin Abd Amr took part in the battles of Badr and the battle of Uhud. During the battle of Badr, his brother also took part. Hazrat Numan bin Abd also had the honor of being martyred. Hazrat Numan and Hazrat Zahak had a third brother. His name was Utbah. He also had the blessing of being a companion of the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. At the occasion of Beri Mu'una, the incident of Beri Mu'una was where he was martyred. Muhammad bin Sa'd bin Abi Waqas narrates the following: that the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, went past a woman of Banu Dinar. Her husband, brother, and father had all took part with the Holy Prophet in the Battle of Uhud, and all of them were martyred. When this woman was given condolences, they asked her, "How are you?" She asked, "Where are they, my father, brother, and husband?" And they said, "As you please." Then she said, "Let me see them." They pointed her towards the Holy Prophet. She saw the Holy Prophet and said, so actually she asked how was the Holy Prophet. Even though her brother, father, and husband had been martyred, she was only concerned about the Holy Prophet and said, if he is fine, then all is fine. In another narration, Hazrat Anas bin Malik says that during the occasion of Battle of Uhud, when the people of Medina, the residents of Medina, were extremely anxious because the rumor had been spread that the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, had been martyred, to the extent that in the alleyways of the Holy Prophet of Medina, people were crying over the Holy Prophet. A woman exited her home completely worried. She saw the corpse of her husband, brother, and father. I do not know who she saw before this, but when she went past the last of these bodies, she said, "Who is this?" People said, "This is your brother, your father, and your son." Then she said, "How is the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him?" And they said, "He has come." She went quickly towards the Holy Prophet, and she expressed love and said, "My family be sacrificed upon you. If you are safe, then I do not care for any other loss." According to another narration, this lady's name was Sumaira bint Qais, which is the mother of Numan. Hazrat Muslih Ma'ud, may Allah be pleased with him, on one occasion has explained this incident, and he says the following: we find such peerless examples of courageousness amongst the companions. Amongst the worldly people, we find tens of millions of people, and amongst all the countries, we may find a solitary example of this manner. But amongst the companions, who were just a few thousand, we find hundreds of thousands of examples. What an exemplary example which relates to a female companion. Hazrat Muslih Maud, the second caliph of the Ahmadiyya community, I have mentioned this example many times, and this should be related in every gathering, and we should refresh the memory of this example. There are such glorious accounts that they should be repeatedly mentioned. Even when they are repeatedly reminisced about, they do not get old. This is similar with this example of this woman who's heard heard information of the death of the Holy Prophet. Along with the other woman of Medina, completely anxious and concerned, she left her house. When she saw the first delegation arriving back from Medina, she immediately inquired, "How is the Holy Prophet, peace and blessing of Allah be upon him?" She was told, "Your husband has been killed." She said, "I have asked you regarding the Holy Prophet, and you are informing me of my husband?" Then, once again, she was told, "Your father has been killed." She replied once again, "I am asking you about the Holy Prophet, yet you are telling me about my father." Then the person then told him that both of your brothers have been killed. Once again, the woman replied, "You do not answer my question. I am not asking you about my blood relatives. I am asking you about the Holy Prophet." Because that companion knew that the Holy Prophet was fine, that companion thought that the most important question to answer for that woman was to inform her of the death of her near ones. But according to that woman, the most beloved thing was the Holy Prophet's existence. Therefore, she said immediately, "Give the answer to my question." Upon this, the companion replied, "The Holy Prophet is completely fine." Hearing this, the woman said, "If the Holy Prophet is alive, then all is well. I'm not concerned about anyone, even if they have died." Now, it is evident, Hazrat Muslim Maud says, it is evident that he is relating another incident, where an elderly woman was so sad by the death of a loved one that her heart almost exploded. So we cannot compare these two examples of this woman and the other elderly woman, an example of which Hazrat Muslim Maud was referring to. So this woman was crying in her heart. So Hazrat Muslim was mentioning an example of someone that she was crying in her heart but not expressing it. But this is not the example of this companion. It was not that she was suppressing her emotions in her heart. She was not expressing her mourning. Rather, this companion, this female companion, was even content in her heart that the Holy Prophet is alive. Naturally, it was a tragedy that hit her heart, but she did not want to express it. Now he is mentioning the other woman, that the newspapers and media had reported about a certain woman who had experienced a loss. But this companion, this female companion, on the other hand, did not even feel the tragedy in her heart. Nobody in the world can find a similitude to this example. Now, if this was not mentioned regarding this person, minhum man qaza bin nahba, then which other people of the world could be referred to as this? Hazrat Muslim Maud says, "When I read the account of this lady, then my heart is filled with immense regard and respect. I wish to express my devotion to this lady. I wish to show my devotion to her because she has left such a peerless example." Then, relating this further, Hazrat Muslim Maud, the second Caliph of the Ahmadi community, says, "Look, this woman had such immense devotion and commitment to the Holy Prophet. Repeatedly, people would try to inform her of the death of her father, husband, and son. But every time she would respond, 'No, you tell me about the condition of the Holy Prophet.' Now she was a woman who had such great devotion to the Holy Prophet." Then Hazrat Muslim Maud, expounding on this further elsewhere, "Now depict the state of this in your heart. Every single one of you must have seen someone who has passed away. Someone close to you must have passed away. Some of you must have seen your mother passed away, your father, your sister, your brother. Now remember how much you mourned on this, how you had food cooked really nice, and how the state of was at the time in your household, how it was like the day of judgment in your home. and how there was nothing else even considered. Yet, the Holy Prophet, in the minds of his companions, had developed such devotion that in comparison to him, they did not concern themselves with anything else. This devotion was only for the reason that the Holy Prophet was the beloved of Allah. If they loved the Holy Prophet, it was because the Holy Prophet was the one who was the most beloved of Allah. It was not because he was Muhammad. It was because he was Rasulullah, the messenger of Allah. So these people, in essence, were the ones who truly loved Allah. And because the Holy Prophet loved Allah and Allah loved the Holy Prophet, so the companions loved him. It was not only the men who showed this devotion. You can also find the example of the women. You found such devotion amongst the women. And then Hazrat Muslim Maud mentions the account of this said woman. Then Hazrat Muslim Maud says, it was this love, this devotion, which Allah the Almighty said regarding the Holy Prophet and placed it in their hearts. However, despite this, they always gave precedence to Allah over everything else. And this, in essence, is Tawheed, the oneness of Allah, which enabled them to gain dominance everywhere in the world. In comparison to Allah, they did not concern themselves with their mother or father, or their brother and sister in terms of precedence, or their husband or wife. For them, the only ultimate objective which was always in their mind was that Allah should be pleased with them. And this is why Allah has said, radiyallahu anhum, regarding them, that Allah was pleased with them. They gave Allah precedence over everything, and Allah gave them precedence over everything. Now this state did not always remain amongst the Muslims later, and if they have any connection with Allah, it is only something that is in their imagination, that they have any connection with Allah and with Tawheed. They do not truly have it today in their hearts. If they recall the Holy Prophet before them, then it is like lightning in their hearts. Even when they have the relatives of the Holy Prophet mentioned, Shia, Sunni, all of them become passionate hearing about the Holy Prophet and his family. However, upon the mention of Allah, upon the recounting of Allah, we do not find that same passion being mentioned or being shown. Whereas it was Allah who gave us the blessing of the Holy Prophet. Therefore, the love of Allah should develop such a lightning strike of passion within our hearts, because true progress is only through gaining the love of Allah. It is only through remaining established upon Tawheed, the oneness of Allah. So therefore, this is the foundational principle that every single one of us should keep in mind. May Allah the Almighty enable every single one of us to develop the true love of Allah within our hearts and to have true understanding and insight of Him. Now I will mention some people who have passed away, and I will also lead their funeral prayers after the Friday prayers. The first mention is of Maudud Ahmad Khan Sahib. He was the Amir Jamaat Karachi, who was the son of Nawab Masood Ahmad Khan Sahib. He passed away on the 14th of July at the age of 88. Surely to Allah we belong, and to Him we shall return. On 12th of April 1941, he was born in the house of Tayyiba Siddiqa Sahiba, Hazrat Nawab Mubaraka Begum Sahiba, and Hazrat Muhammad Ali Khan Sahib, he was the paternal grandson of, and Dr. Ameen Muhammad Ismail Sahib, he was the maternal grandson of. From Punjab University, he did an LLB degree. Then he studied with Sheikh Muhammad Ahmad Mazhar Sahib for some time. Then there was a famous law firm with whom he was associated, and he went to Dhaka. There he continued his work. And he stayed there for a long period of time, and he was a senior partner. He was known amongst the most senior people in Pakistan for this side. In banking and corporate law, he was an expert, and he was well known for his expertise in corporate and other law. He also was involved in the amendment of the national law involved in corporate law. He would often be called. He would often be invited for jobs in very senior companies, but he would refuse based on the reputation, and so that it does not cause any bad reputation to the community. So he would very carefully select the jobs in that very senior role of law. He left behind 2 children, a son and a daughter. His son is also in the field of law. His daughter is in Canada with her husband. The son-in-law of the deceased, Sahibzada Mirza Mubarak Ahmed Sahib's granddaughter's son. Madood Ahmad Khan Sahib was appointed the Emir of Karachi. Before this, he was the Naib Emir and Secretary Amuri Kharja. Fazl Umar Foundation, Nasir Foundation, Tahir Foundation, he was directors of all of these. In 1984, when there was a tribulation upon the community, he also had very good connections with the press. His wife, Amtul Momin Sahiba, who is the daughter of Malik Amar Ali Sahib, the deceased, and his mother's name is Sayyida Begum, who is Mir Muhammad Ishaq Sahib's daughter. She says he had a very simple nature, very friendly. He was very generous and compassionate. Everyone he kept a connection with, the other would always say that even right at the beginning, it seemed as if we knew him from such a time before. He would treat everyone the same, whether senior or junior members of the community. She says there is no perspective where we can see that as a husband or as a father that there is any shortcomings that I've seen. He was an ideal husband, ideal father, and an ideal individual, and every person would be greatly impacted by him. Son Mahmud Ahmad Khan says that he was an ideal father. From childhood, he instilled in us the habit of prayer. At a very early age, he would take me to the Fajr prayers, and he always would inculcate me towards respecting elders. There is a great effect upon me and my sister upon seeing the way he prayed, and also financial sacrifices. When we would go to Rabwa, we would go to Beheshti Maqbara, the heavenly graveyard, and he would take us to the graves of the companions and others, and he would introduce us to them. He had great humility. He would always meet even those who were poor and impoverished with great humbleness. He would never meet someone senior or a senior official just so that he could gain some benefit. He would always have self-respect. The wife would always say that you meet everyone else really well, but when you meet a senior official or senior officer, it seems that you suddenly have self-respect. He did a lot of work for the prisoners in the way of Allah in Sindh, also for the families of the martyred in that area. His wife says that he would sometimes take me on tours. He would take care of her greatly, and take care of those who were the families of the martyred. Everyone who has written says that he was greatly hospitable. His wife says that sometimes a phone call would come 10 minutes before, that so many guests are coming, prepare food. He would immediately put the phone down, so there was not even an excuse to not prepare. He had a connection of great respect and devotion and sincerity with Khilafat. His son says, to me and my sister, and to other children, he would always counsel us that at least once a week, you most certainly inform the Khalifa of the time of your circumstances and write to him and fax your letter to him. And you must increase this connection. 2 years ago, he suffered from cancer and he was undergoing treatment. With the grace of Allah, he was cured from that treatment. He also wrote to me that I have cured from that treatment, and he had returned to his work. But then a few days ago, suddenly he was very ill, and it seemed like he had a heart attack which he could not recover from. Anyhow, when he had his treatment for cancer undergoing, the doctors said regarding him that we are very inspired by this person. First of all, he has great patience and endurance. Secondly, we learn from interacting with him that he is a great scholar. His son says that when we used to go, the hospital doctors would stand up seeing him out of respect. Non-Ahmadi youngsters would also come, and one youngster said to me, who would come visit him, that in moral values and in mentorship, he had a great effect upon me. His wife says that he had a special quality, that he was very punctual in giving chanda. He had a very good income, and he was quite well off. I never asked his exact income, and even if I thought about it, I never had the courage to ask. But when I used to sometimes see the list of chanda, I could see how much chanda he is and work out his income. And there was a long list of chandas he would give. He would say, spend less on the household expenditure and give more sacrifice towards the Jamaat. She says that sometimes I would feel that the only reason he would earn as much as he did was so that he can give more to the community. He really did not like complaints, and he would advise strongly against this. His wife said he would never listen to anyone complaining about other people. He was also against backbiting and spreading gossiping about others, an advice he would often give. Do not just rely and have hope upon others. Whatever you want to do, do yourself, so you never have any complaint in your heart about others. Someone related that once, who was Naib Amir, or in any other office, he said to this person who was deceased, that sometimes you are very soft, sometimes you should be a bit stricter, sometimes you should be stricter in some work, upon which the deceased replied, how can you be strict on a volunteer who is taking out his work and giving time? How can we be strict to a volunteer? So he would take work with great love, and Khudam and the Qaideen have written to me that always with great love he would take work from us. He would give duties, and the Jamaat Karachi, in fact the centre, had said that there should be security for the Umara, the presidents of the districts, and Khudam would go and do security. He would say that soon to the security Khudam, when you reach home, let me know and call me. So some Khudam said that sometimes when we did not have transport, he would himself give us our car so we could return home with it. The deceased daughter says that father, from a very young age, instilled within us a truly strong belief in the existence of Allah and a great regard for Khilafat, and he would counsel us to remain established upon these. Even in his illness, he would regularly listen to the Jalsa, and he could avail from the live stream, and he would tell us to do so. When the Germany and Canada Jalsas were happening together, the daughter lived in Canada. She said that I am also listening to the Germany Jalsa, and he would regularly listen to the sermons. He would greatly value the month of Ramadan. He never would travel anywhere during the month, so that he could really respect the purpose of Ramadan. This is a lesson for everyone who, upon the smallest of matters, may take out an excuse to travel so that they do not have to fast during the month of Ramadan. Sayyid Hussain Ahmad, there is a former missionary who is also his cousin of the deceased, says, during my stay in Karachi, when I was a missionary there, then in a gathering, when there was any difficulty, he would say, this is the work of Allah, we just have to put a finger of effort into it. So all we have to do is put effort. He would stand up and receive everyone and welcome them. He would always very carefully listen to anyone asking him a question and appropriately take action upon it. He would try his level best to help the orphans, the needy, the widows, and so on. Despite the fact of constraints in the Jamaat budget, he always found some way to fulfill the needs of the Jamaat. There is a lady from that same Jamaat said, not just to his children, but to the whole Karachi community of the Ahmadiyya community, he was like a loving father. He would take part in everyone's happiness and sadness. He was always concerned for everyone. He was always very humble. Once, Nawab Mahmud Ahmad Khan was written in one of the gatherings, and he removed the word Nawab, which is a title. Qureshi Mahmud Sahib, who is the acting president of that same area, he said that he was like a loving and compassionate father for the Ahmadiyya community, Karachi, and he would guide everyone with such kindness. He was extremely generous, a very humble, modest, and meek person. He was a possessor of many noble qualities. One of his prominent qualities was whether it was a senior or junior, educated or uneducated, rich or poor, he would meet everyone equally with great love and listen to everyone equally. Whether a person of highly status or just a very ordinary, normal person, he would stand up and meet them. And he would often, very many hours till the night, he would continue his Jamaat work. He would come straight to the Jamaat office and sit there till 10 o'clock after his work. He also made a lot of efforts towards the moral and spiritual training of his children. As the district Amir, he would keep a personal connection with all regional and local levels and guide everyone and take interest in the minutest details. The National President of Ansarullah Pakistan writes, he would always concern for the Jamaat's education and preaching. Once I went to a visit there, and there was a refresher course for the office holders. He came to me and said with great pain that you have come to Karachi for a refresher course. All I want to tell you is that today at the Fajr prayer and in the mosque, there were only 3 Ansar, 3 elders of the community, whereas there are many houses near the mosque and they have cars. They can easily come for the Fajr prayers. Then he said, in this meeting all the office holders are present. Please explain to them that first of all, they should develop pious reformations within themselves. They should give attention towards worship. Then they should concern for the education of their own children and the youth. He had a longing for this purpose. Then a lady has written, we were going to Qadian. We all had Indian currency. First we thought that we had permission to take it there. Later we were told that it's not permitted to take it there. So everyone was given a form to fill. And the immigration officer said that you do not have permission to take currency, but if you have bought it by mistake, there is no harm. Do not mention it in the form. However, this Amir Sahib, the deceased, did not accept this. And the currency that he had, it was not that much. It was about 25,000-30,000 Indian rupees. He mentioned it. The worker at the immigration said, do not write this, otherwise we will be compelled to seize this according to law. Even then, the Amir Sahib, with great honesty and trustworthiness, said that I will write it, and very happily he gave the money, and he did not take advantage of the situation in any way. As I said, many Khuddam, many youth of the Ahmadiyya community have written from there and said he had a special attention he gave towards us. He would thank us, he'd show gratitude towards us, the youth, and he would show us gratitude as if we had done a great favor to him. Imtiaz Shahid Sabs, who is of Karachi, and he is a president of one of the areas there. If I try to bound his qualities in a limited space, then I would say that humility and humbleness, devotion for Khilafat, and respect for the Nizam of Jamaat, that is a nutshell or a summary of his qualities. He said in 2016, there was a structure that was made there, and he was appointed as the Emir. I went to the Emir of the district, and he had a great responsibility entrusted upon him, and he said to me, I have a great responsibility upon me, but always remember that if any difficulty ever arises, always write to the Khalifa of the time for prayers. Allah the Almighty descends His blessings, and he said that, yes, this is what I do. Every single week before Friday, or before every important function of Karachi, or when something would occur, or when it's the end of the year for Chanda, he would always write to me for prayers. The guide Khudam Ahmadiyya Bilal Haider says, Amir Sahib Surat al-Mu'minun had a great devotion for it, the chapter in the Holy Quran. Often, when there was a program of the Khudam Ahmadiyya, the youth of the Ahmadiyya community, he would say, recite Surah Mu'minun, the chapter Mu'minun of the Holy Quran, and particularly the beginning part, he would say, recite it carefully. He said, even now when I think today, my heart testifies that he was exemplary in being punctual towards his prayer and to how to be a believer. He says, the second advice I remember he gave me, that once he said to me when we were alone, that every single week it is my routine to write to the Khalifa of the time, and he explained this to me very lovingly. I also am taking benefit of this advice. He had great obedience towards Khilafat. He had great regard for Khilafat. There was a function of the family. I came to know of something that happened there, and I wrote to him that you were also present there. This should not have happened. I did not expect that you would be part of this. He first wrote to me in forgiveness. Then he wrote to me after, I am happy that we are not free. There is someone to guide us and to give us moral and spiritual training. We are not completely free to what we do, and he was thanking me for this. He was elder to me as a relative, and before Khilafat, he was related to me. And before my Khilafat, there was a respect because of being an elder relative. However, after I was appointed as the Khalifa, with great humility, in fact, even when I was Nazri Allah, before Khilafat, when Khalifa Rabi, the fourth Khalifa, made me Nazri Allah, he would always respect me greatly. And he always showed me loyalty and sincerity. May Allah the Almighty grant him forgiveness and elevate his rank. To his children as well, may they be enabled to continue his pious ways. The second funeral is of Khalifa Abdul Aziz Sahib, the Naib Amir of Canada Jamaat, the Vice President of Canada Jamaat, who passed away on the 17th of July at the age of 86. Surely to Allah we belong, and to Him we shall return. He was from Jammu Kashmir, from the famous Khalifa family of there. His father Khalifa Abdul Rahim Sahib and his Khalifa Nuruddin Sahib Juruni, and they were all companions of the promised Messiah. His paternal grandfather in Kashmir, Mullah Khadiyar, had the honor of finding the grave of Hazrat Isa, Jesus peace be upon him, who Hazrat promised Messiah is mentioned in many places. He was amongst the pioneer early members of the Canada Ahmadiyya community. He had shifted from Pakistan. He was a lawyer by profession. He had established his own law firm, and then he always assisted the Ahmadiyya community in legal advice. He was the first national president of the Canada Ahmadiyya community, first president of the Qazal board, and until his death, he served as the national vice president of the Ahmadiyya community Canada. In 2010, he had the honor of doing the Hajj, the pilgrimage. He was extremely humble, friendly, sociable, loving, of strong opinion, and a very pious individual. Despite his weakness and illnesses, he would always fulfill his obligations until his last breath. He had a deep connection of love and devotion with Khilafat. He would always try to implement all directives. With the grace of Allah, he was a Musi. May Allah the Almighty grant him forgiveness, and may Allah the Almighty grant his family who left behind the ability to continue his pious ways.
Alhamdulillah, nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayhi wa na'udhu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. عباد الله رحمكم الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله أكبر.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم